Maranatha. Welcome to part 62 of Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one. And this is August the 15th, 2025 by man's calendar. And I mentioned about how that we've become the sons of God and stuff in the last couple videos. I talked about that in part 60, I believe it was. And this has been on my mind all day while I was at work today. And the Lord has just dealt with me wholly on this today throughout the day. And I just feel compelled right now. There is service tonight. Hope to see some of y'all out. Hope I get this up before I go. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Shalom Shabbat to those that keep the Sabbath, because it begins at sundown and goes through tomorrow at sundown. So, Shalom Shabbat to those who keep Sabbath. And this is truly a blessed time for those who believe in the Lord to be alive. Yes, it's a heart-wrenching time. Yes, it's very heartbreaking because we see terrible things. But when you look at those terrible things through the scope of the Bible, it shows you something very important. That Jesus is coming. And there are many mockers and scoffers, and I've seen it on just different posts where people are posting about these devastating things, and people say stuff like, this is only going to get better, or this is only going to get worse, and things like that. And people are mocking them and scoffing them for what they're saying, for just any old reason. Because you know why? Because the mockers and scoffers are either terrified because they don't know what to do, or just because they want to mock because they love the life they're living and they don't believe that it is the end times. And they think some man is going to come along and save them from the wrath of God. See, what we're in right now, this is not the wrath of God completely yet. This is not the wrath of God yet. No, this is the prelude to that. This is the wrath of Satan. This is the tribulation which the saints are supposed to go through. And y'all have been missing a lot of what's going on all around you, and you're not really understanding this. For those that think, oh, well, the church has to go through these things. Yeah, through the wrath of Satan, but not through the wrath of God. Why? Because Thessalonians explains it best when it says that the restrainer has to be removed. Because in 2 Thessalonians 2, it says, he that now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. God's spirit has to be removed in order for the darkness to really, and that we know that the day of the Lord is a day of darkness, which means it's a day without the light. And the only way that it could be a day without the light is how? The light has to be removed. For all those of you who fight the rapture, I've been waiting till now to say this particular thing. See, I could have won this argument a long time ago with just stating this fact. And boof, that would have won it. But I was trying to give time, like the Lord told me, for y'all to open your eyes. But you didn't want to do it. Now you have no choice. Either you come into the belief of the rapture, or you'll be staying here for the tribulation. That's up to you. You best make sure you're ready. You don't want to come to the wedding feast without a wedding garment on. You best make sure you're ready. You best make sure there's oil in your vessel and that you've got the true Holy Ghost. Now, am putting this as politely as I possibly can now because, like I said, we are out of time. We are out of time. Look around. We see all these things converging, and he's at the door. He's at the door. And the king may appear before the new dawning. And if you're grieved in your spirit because you're getting ready to go see Jesus, there's something wrong there. You better find out what it is. I'm not grieved in my spirit because I'm getting ready to see Jesus. I've lived for the last 40-some years waiting to see Jesus. Yeah, I'm in my 40s. I'm not going to state the number. It's not necessary. I thank God for every year that I've spent upon this earth. I thank God for my age. Because the foolish things I did in my life could have cost me to win out at various times, but the Lord kept his hand on me. And I thank the Lord for that. That said, I want to get into this word. I want to talk about the sons of God and what the Bible says about them a little bit right here. No, I'm not going all the way back into Job. I'm just going into the New Testament at this point in time. I am visiting in St. John at this particular spot. And I'm trying to see where the Lord wants me to go to start this. I'm going to go to verse 8, where it's talking about John, whom was not the light, but he bore witness of the light. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light, like we are. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world. Now study on this. He was in the world, talking about Jesus, the light of the world. He was in the world. And the world was made by him. And the world knew him not. They didn't even know him. So how would they know the sons of God if they didn't even know God himself? Think about this. He came unto his own, the Jews, and his own received him not. It's like when the angels, and there was a war in heaven, and the angels were trying to take over. And they wanted his throne. And it begun the war in heaven. And they're still trying to this day to take over heaven and to rule. But they can't because he has all power. Jesus himself has all power in heaven and in earth. He said so. But now you think about that. He came onto his own. You could even look at that like he came onto his own angels. And they received him not. Because why? Because they were the fallen ones. But he came unto his own, and they received him not. But as many as received him, now listen what he says, right? Or listen what the word says right here. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. Why? Why? Because he has the power to raise sons up from the very stones. So if he has power to raise sons up from the very stones to serve him, then he certainly can raise up sons from the clay, which we are. But as many as would receive him gave he power to become the sons of God. That's verse 12. Even to them that believe on his name, which are born not of blood, nor of the will of flesh, nor of the will of man, but of the will of God. You wanted to know what the will of God is? Right there. To help us become the sons of God. That is the will of God. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. That's right, and Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And now I'm going to go into the next one. Jumping over here to Romans 8. I'm going to jump over here to Romans 8. Starting at verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God. And joint heirs with Christ, with Jesus. And if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectations of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subject the same in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. See, there we are. We, like I said, we are the sons of God if we endure this wrath of Satan. I was trying to figure out how to put this. See, because Satan seeks to sift us like wheat. He's jealous. He's jealous of anybody who serves God. Because he wants God's throne and he wants people to serve him. and he's jealous, and he gets angry. And so he speaks unto the Lord, and he accuses us to the Lord night and day. And he accuses us night and day before the Lord. But what does it tell us right there? For verse 18, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. That's what we're striving for, right? It's supposed to be. But if you're looking to yourself and living lavishly in this world and seeking only your own in this world, you're not a son of God. You're a son of perdition. You're going into destruction because you've allowed yourself to be this. Now, I'm going into the next part. This is 1 John chapter 3. 1 John 3. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not. That's what I just said. That they couldn't know us because they didn't even know God himself. The world can't know us if we are of the Lord. They will not radiate toward us. Our light will drive them away if they don't want anything to do with the light. It will drive them away from us. Behold, what manner of love that the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doeth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. You see? But the sons of God won't seek after sin. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is a transgression of the law. And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him. Little children, let no man deceive you. For he that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. And he that committeth sin is of the devil, And if you're committing sin, it's plain right here. You're of the devil. He that committeth sin is of the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested. Talking about Jesus. That he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of God doeth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God. In this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God. Is not of God. There's no lee room there. There's no wiggle room. They're not of God. In this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Who doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil. Talking about Cain's works. And his brothers were righteous. And this is still going on today. The evil one is still trying to kill the good ones off. They're still trying to destroy the righteous. And you all sit around with blinders on your eyes, and you want to believe that everybody's basically good. No, they're not. If you could see into every person the way that God does, you would understand this. It's time that you start seeing these things and seeing the truth. But how can you when you won't even let the gifts of God manifest in you? You won't even obey what He's telling you to do. Because if you think that it's evil if it's telling you to get rid of things, or if it's telling you to leave certain people behind. No, that's not evil. That's God trying to separate you from people that is not good for your spirit. If they won't have the truth, you've got to cut them loose. Because they're not going to the same place you are. But as I've already said, this is more, and to explain one more time before I end out of this particular video, because I got to get ready for service. Anyways, to explain one more time. The rapture is nigh, whether you believe in it or not. If you don't, you just won't get a go in it, because unbelief is a sin. And you'll be in the tribulation. And you'll have to be a tribulation saint, which means you will have to give your life for the Lord. But, let me explain one more time. To be that means you would have to be full of darkness right now. Because the day of the Lord is a day of darkness, and the light can't be present for that until it's time for the light to come back again. So, you're going to have to decide. Because the day of the Lord is a day of darkness. And now you see why. And I'll see you in the next videos, whatever they may be. Love you. Obey Acts 2:38, Acts 19, 1 through 6. And if that trumpet sounds, or we are caught away, before any other videos, may I see you in the clouds. That is my hope. I love you.